Shout out to Cats Pawd.
A great defensive play for Montana State.
Touchdown, Tommy Malone is electrifying.
Welcome to the Cats Pod. What's up, Podcats? It is quarterfinals week. The next round of the playoffs is going. If it's anything like last round of the playoffs, it's gonna be absolutely insane. We are joined by a guest from behind enemy lines. Eric, you want to give it an intro there?
Yeah, so we thought this one, it might be fun after we all witnessed maybe the biggest upset in the history of college football. So I reached out to one of my buddies from North Dakota, Mac Stuber, Hereford Ranch, and he's going to fill us in a little bit on what in the world happened to North Dakota State. What happened, Mac?
Well, thanks for having me. A lot of things happened. Number one, I guess, would be offense. That's what it mainly boiled down to, I think, was the offense. Obviously, one play for 78 yards on the first offensive play of the game, and then after that, basically nothing at all. But to have 5 interceptions, 1 pick six, 1 was inside the 5, and then a punt return. It's you can't lose that game. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's still hard to believe that happened, especially with what you just said. First offensive play for them, a 78-yard touchdown pass, 5 interceptions, a punt return touchdown. If you told anybody, here's what happened, they would laugh you out of the room if you said they lost after all that happened. What was Cole? You watch every North Dakota State game. You watched Cole Payton for years. What happened with him? What went wrong?
I think it just. He was bound to have one bad day, I guess, and that was just the day to have it.
Yeah.
The offensive line didn't help at all. Illinois State, it was just, they were all, they own that offensive line, and they've messed around with the line some this year. They had 2 true freshmen playing. It's like they never could quite get it figured out, which is kind of strange for North Dakota State to have offensive line problems, but he didn't have any time. He was, I think he got sacked 4 times, usually in the playoffs, they kind of get, that quarterback run game shows up some more, and it never did at all. They didn't use it at all. I don't know. The offensive line, I think, well, they say he wasn't.
No.
They say he wasn't. I know at the end of the game, I think he broke his finger, but which is why he wasn't in for that last drive. But they say he wasn't. I know he had a knee issue the last regular season game, but after that touchdown, the first play, he ran down the field full sprint, to celebrate.
Yeah.
He looked fine. I don't know.
I think
Do
it
you
was.
think, go ahead, Ben.
I think it was as shocking for everyone as it was for you, and it was just like as soon as I tuned in, because I only tuned in for the last minute since ESPN decided to schedule all the games at the exact same time, and so just watching that last minute, I was like, oh, Cole Payton's on the sideline. He must have gotten hurt like halfway through this game or something like that. And I was like, okay, this game makes sense now. But then after you look into the stats and you look into the scoring stuff that you guys all just mentioned, it opens up a whole different story that just simply does not make any logical sense. And I feel like you can only chalk it up to it's just the playoffs and random stuff is going to happen.
Random stuff is going to happen. And I guess, everybody has come to expect North Dakota State just to run all the way to Nashville now. But like you've now watched 2 games with Illinois State. Were they discredited like pretty majorly, or was that a fair line? Because North Dakota State was minus 3,000 to win that game. Do you think that was actually closer, or do you actually believe that North Dakota State is still a far superior team? It just was a fluke.
I think you play that game 10 times, North Dakota State probably wins 8 or 9 of them. Of course, Coach Spack at Illinois State's been there a long time. I mean, he's kind of been. They've always played him tough. Illinois State's always played him really tough. And there were some things in the first game looking back that they kind of had it figured out. They just couldn't quite execute it, especially getting the pressure and some of those things they did. I mean, that's a good defensive line. But this game, it all worked out. It all came together for them, and it didn't help that Cole Payton just had a bad day, a really bad day.
Mm-hmm.
I personally think NDSU is a better team, but Illinois State, if they don't get beat by Southern Illinois that last week of the season, they're probably an 8 or they're probably had a bye the first week.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
I mean, true. I think they're a better team than everybody thought they were for sure, but I still don't think they're better than NDSU was. They were that day for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, it took some balls to come on here and talk about North Dakota State. I'm not going to lie, because I feel like they just love it. Everybody loves to see North Dakota State bounced early. I know for a fact that a certain mutual friend of both of ours, Mac Stuber, was awfully salty after that game, and I really didn't even say that much.
Yeah. I don't know that he could have told you who the quarterback was for the team, to be honest with you. But
there are a lot of fans like that out there in the world too, where they're willing to talk all the trash when the winning's going on, but they don't really know anything about the team. Yeah. I think those exist in every fan base.
Oh yeah, no doubt. So, North Dakota State, I mean, the crazy thing is these guys were receiving AP top 25 votes in the FBS. They drew what seemed to be like kind of a cakewalk schedule all the way through that side of the bracket. Meanwhile, the gauntlet was going to be on the opposite side. I mean, before when you were looking at that bracket, and I know you make lots of bracketology and stuff, and you follow this whole FCS thing real close, who did you have as your final 2?
I had NDSU and Montana State.
Yeah, boy.
I think that's the most popular pick by far, for sure.
Yeah. So going back to the opposite side of that bracket, there's a lot of familiar foes for you. So, I mean, you've followed USD's season fairly close, and you've played them. Do they stand a chance? Can they do it?
I mean, anything's possible at this point in time now. I mean, they've just gotten stronger all year long. They've figured it out as they went along, and it seems like right now, here as of late, is when they really started to click. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if they won this weekend. I wouldn't be. I don't know that I could quite pick them, but I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, it's just new coaching staff. I just took a while for them to get going, I guess, and it seems like they kind of have it figured out now.
Yeah. Felt like it was a new coaching staff and also like an entirely new roster that they were dealing with there. And it is impressive how much better they have gotten throughout the season. I think until last week's games, I don't know if anybody would be calling this like a pickup between the Coyotes and the Grizz. But at this point, with the way that they just dismantled Mercer, it's definitely making me think twice or 3 times about that game this week. I'm not sold on the Grizz winning it the way I would have been when we were making our brackets a few weeks ago, for sure.
No, I really think that's going to be fun. I think there could be a lot of points scored in that game.
Yeah. That was
The
yeah.
South Dakota offense is really good. I mean, their backup running back. It's been their backup running back all year. I mean, he's been pretty unbelievable, and now it looks like he looks like he did the last couple of years now.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that wide
getting
receiver, that Fenner, that's kind of come out of nowhere too.
Yeah, young kid. He's only maybe a sophomore or something like that. That Fenner, he's pretty legit. I would almost expect him to get some offers somewhere. I mean he's playing, especially with a bunch of room to grow and everything. But going back to the whole NDSU thing, do you think an exit that early sparks guys leaving, or do you think they have it buttoned up enough in NIL money to keep some of these superstars? I know like some of these guys are just leaving. Bryce Lance going to the draft, but like you guys have a lot of really good players, and we see these early bounce exits spark quite a few guys. I mean, the Jackrabbits already have several. North Dakota's already got several in the portal. How comfortable are you that North Dakota State stays more or less together?
Oh, they'll for sure lose a couple. They've done every year. You think, okay, there's no way these guys are staying, and they always do. I mean, we've lost a couple, but not, not big contributor types. So I don't think they're going to lose a whole lot to the portal. I really don't. Whatever they got going on there, they can keep. They've done a really good job keeping them guys there. They can recruit in house really well. I mean, time will tell, but I don't think you're going to lose a whole pile of them. I mean, a couple for sure, but
yeah. I guess like the biggest thing I want to say to you specifically about North Dakota State is neener.
It's a very intelligent argument there, Eric. Very intelligent argument.
Well,
we're still playing and you're not. Neener.
Well, you Montana guys ought to feel a lot better about your chances now to finally get one now that NDSU's gone.
Yeah, you can only play the teams in front of you. That's all you can play. It's the only way it shakes out.
You got to, like, honestly, Mac, you look back at the last several national championships, not with South Dakota State, they were all kind of lopsided until last year. Last year, I mean, you guys got out to an early lead, but you only won by 3 points. It felt like the Cats were going to come back and get you. I know for a fact we wanted another crack at NDSU, and we're not going to get it, which is kind of disappointing because, there is going to be that narrative out there that this is a hollow chip because a Dakota State is not on the other side of the game. Yeah. That narrative will live forever.
Or until
it's not nearly as cool to beat a Tarleton State or whoever's there.
Yeah, for sure. It doesn't have the same ring to it. It wouldn't feel the same, and honestly it wouldn't feel the same for, like, I don't know, any serious fans about it. Like, I think everybody wanted another go at NDSU and just to see it happen, because also we're just way too aware of the internet narratives, and it's going to be a massive problem. It's like you can't even succeed now. That's what some of the playoffs feels like. You can't even actually win because you're still going to be losing online. I don't want the team to feel that way. Let's be real. Okay, I shouldn't have said that. Damn. I'm screwing up the team morale right now.
I just, especially like this was the one you wanted North Dakota State for because they were not going to be in Frisco anymore. Mm-hmm. This was a true neutral site that they had never played in. We had never played in. I mean, you take away all the outlying variables and you put them directly into a place where neither one of them feels comfortable. That was the game we all wanted. I don't care what anyone says. Grizz fans, sit this one out. You guys suck anyway. We wanted Bison Cats 2.0, well, I guess 3.0 on this one, at a completely neutral site. and North Dakota State let us down. I'm just not gonna lie here. I never saw this one coming,
No.
and I did want to read a specific text message from one Mac Stuber that I got when we were. Oh, when was that? Trying to remember how far through the game that was. Let's see. Trying to find it. NDSU's offense just as well take the day off. Special teams and defenses scoring plenty.
Let's just punt on first down here on out. Let's just punt on first down.
Yeah,
They'd have had better odds punting on first down and causing a fumble or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then a few text messages go by and quite a bit of time. I said, "Are you on upset alert?" And the response I got was, "Oh, big," with a lot of G's, time.
Big. I couldn't imagine. It was honestly, as the game was winding down while the Cats were playing against Yale, I was like, please don't let two upsets happen in one day, because that game kept getting closer and closer and it was coming down to the wire, and I was like, we're not even going to be able to talk trash to NDSU about losing right now, because we might lose to Yale in the second round. Like, that's the way the game was looking for a minute, and I was like, this is the worst case scenario of all time. And then the Cats pulled it off, and we're still rolling, so it's all good. But those thoughts did creep in.
So one last question, NDSU Illinois State. So Illinois State plays UC Davis this weekend. UC Davis is only -1.5 on that game. Do you think that's fair? Like, you've seen them play twice now.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that's personally, and I haven't watched any UC Davis, but to me, that's, pretty much a pick'em game for me personally. I guess I was never, and maybe it's not fair, but I was never that high on UC Davis personally. But Illinois State, it's not like they played super great. 5 interceptions. That's tough. But I don't know. It probably should be a couple more. I wouldn't be surprised if either one of them win, honestly. But the spread could probably be a couple more.
Mm-hmm. It's a tough game.
Beating North Dakota State gives you a little bit of clout.
It has to at some point.
I'm sure it gave them. That's a lot of the boost they got. I know it is.
Yeah, and you got to give them credit for it, but you also got to think, like, how do you respond after a game like that? Like, you saw how emotional those Illinois State dudes were after they beat NDSU. They won the national championship in that game. That was their national championship. And meanwhile, UC Davis is just rolling against Rhode Island. Later on that night, they were just destroying Rhode Island, and their quarterback, he's a freshman, and games like last week, Pinnock looked like he could beat anybody in the world. But then you don't know if that guy's going to show up or if he's going to play like an actual freshman quarterback. Because if he comes out against Illinois State and plays like a true freshman, like, Illinois State has a very good chance of winning that game. But I think it depends a lot on how Pinnock and UC Davis's offense shows up for it. Because I don't know if they face many defenses like Illinois State or like the Missouri Valley has outside of their game against Montana State. That's probably the best defense I've seen all year. And that was only one game. So I don't know how prepared they'll be for Illinois State. I don't know if Illinois State will be super prepared for a team like UC Davis either, though. Like, it's a weird matchup.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you're rolling with a freshman quarterback. That can never be, like, you can't really ever feel good about having a freshman quarterback in there. I mean, you're in playoff football now. You have to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
That Rittenhouse throws 5 picks, somehow they win.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't happen. Usually if you throw 1 interception, you put your team in a bad spot. Like, it's just, you can't do it, which kind of, after watching that game, kind of makes me wonder if Illinois State and a absolute rock star defense is enough, because we watched the Cats beat them with a rock star defense.
Mm-hmm.
Then your offense just has to do just enough to get by them. So I'm kind of wondering if my bracket is going to be so toast. Because, well, actually, not really, because I had North Dakota State beating UC Davis. So,
Mm-hmm.
it's not quite the same, but
At this point, we need all the
State
points, though.
Dark horse it.
Yeah.
Dark horse it to them.
I definitely think they could be. I don't know what to, because, I mean, Illinois State, some of them other Valley teams, every year that's their goal is not a national championship. It's to beat NDSU, Illinois State, the Youngstowns of the world. So I don't know I don't know how they'll show up. They've been they haven't lost on the road all year. The quarterback, Rittenhouse, he only had 5 interceptions all year. I mean, he doubled it on Saturday.
That's crazy.
So
that's insane.
That's so wild.
Yeah.
And that wide receiver, he's legit. I could see him. I wouldn't be shocked if they were in Nashville, honestly. I think they're capable. I just wonder how, just how high up they got for that NDSU game. If they can keep carrying that along, I think they can beat anybody. I mean, obviously they can.
Mm-hmm.
Or did they blow their load on one game and got nothing left for the next one? Because I could see that too.
Yeah, that's why I don't really know how to read that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah. When you look at like the key player matchups and like the big guys on offense, it's all very, very similar. Like Pinnock and Rittenhouse really have identical stats pretty much. The running backs have very similar stat lines. It's wide receivers, I'm guessing that Illinois State spreads the ball out more just because of how many passing yards Rittenhouse has, and their top receiver is a little bit lower, but it's just they seem like super evenly matched teams. So that's why I don't think that the UC Davis -1.5 is like a crazy weird stat line. And it doesn't surprise me because UC Davis has gotten no credit the entire season. So especially from like national shows and stuff like that and people that cover FCS nationally, they have not talked much about UC Davis at all. And we have, just because they're in the conference and we see a lot of their games. But
we played them.
And we played them, but we also beat them badly. So that does factor in. Maybe they're not as good as we even think they are,
I agree with that -1.5, probably a little more than I should. I still think Davis is gonna, I know that coach has been there forever at Illinois State, but Tim Plow is legit, and there's a reason that he was the first coach contacted for some of those FBS jobs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's a good young coach that has insane like player relationships and whatnot,
and an excellent mustache to boot.
They can spend all their focus on Tim Plow and stay away from our coach. How about that?
Yeah, that's fine with us. The problem is I don't see Tim Plow leaving just because Tim Plow like played quarterback for UC Davis and he like is Mr. UC Davis. I think it's going to be really hard to convince him to leave there.
Dollar signs speak, brother.
They do. They in
not
fact
everyone
do.
Not everyone has NDSU oil money.
That's how they get their recruits. I'm not even worried about NDSU's future at all because I saw that they got a recruit where they were fighting with people in the SEC. Like when you're pulling recruits and you're battling with the SEC, your program's going to stick around for a while. It's not going to have any problems.
It's kind of funny because, I just saw Tyler Roll. He used to be part of the NDSU staff, didn't he?
Yep.
And Jimmy Rogers poached him to go to Iowa State from the Detroit Lions. The freaking Detroit Lions lost a coach because Jimmy Rogers came calling from Iowa State.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so complete tangent. I'm known for getting on these.
Yeah.
I'm going to lay out this scenario for you, Mac. You tell me if you agree or disagree when I'm done with it, okay?
Okay.
Only because I'm an Iowa State fan, went to college there, and now their coach is somebody that I despise. So, Jimmy Rogers is Stig's DC at South Dakota State. They have Gronowski in an incredible roster. They win a national title. Stig retires, hands the team over to his golden boy, Jimmy Rogers. Jimmy Rogers takes Stig's team and wins a second title. The next year, with they managed to keep I'm blanking on Gronowski. They managed to keep Gronowski around. Still a really good team. NDSU out coaches them twice in the same year, and they lose out before Frisco. He then takes half of South Dakota State's roster to Washington State, a team that had been 8-6 before he showed up, or whatever it was before he showed up, positive record, with a hand-picked team from his own backyard and already a bunch of talent on the roster, and turns them into a 500 team and then bounces after 11 months. And I'm telling all my buddies at Iowa State, this is not a good hire. This guy has zero loyalty in his body, and he won chips with somebody else's recruited team. Agree or disagree?
Yeah, I don't think that was a great hire.
Yeah.
He really hasn't. I don't know what he's really proven. But
that he can win a chip with somebody else's team that they put together that won the previous year.
He's a great surfer. He can ride a wave like the best of them. You just got to put him on. You just got to put him on the wave, and then he'll take you all the way to the national championship. That's all you need. Hire him at like Alabama or something. See what happens. Give him a fresh recruited pool already in his pocket. See what he does.
Yeah, fresh recruited pool and $60 million of NIL money. See what he does.
Yeah. He doesn't need much. Just everything.
Yeah.
It's all good at that point.
Yeah. I told you, crazy side tangent there. I just wanted to know if you agreed with me or not. And I'm glad that I'm not alone on that one. But anyway, back to the slate of games we were on.
Mm-hmm.
Ben, I'm going to jump on this train with you. I picked against Villanova twice, and I've been shot down twice here. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna call the Villanova upset.
No way, dude. This is not when you jump on the Villanova train. This is absolutely ridiculous. My microphone arm is pissed off at you right now. My microphone arm cannot stand what just happened here because we have been all over Villanova for 2 weeks now, and we have been called idiots over here. We have just been called the worst names in the book because we believed in Villanova only because we liked their basketball team. But this week is when I was going to stop picking Villanova. Like, Tarleton destroyed UND. And UND was the other team that I was high on that I probably shouldn't have been in these playoffs. I picked them to go all the way through and to lose to NDSU in the semifinals. And I was an idiot for that one. Tarleton looked very legit against UND, and I'm definitely going to pick them to beat Villanova. Like, it seems like a no-brainer now.
Okay, kill my buzz, bud. Thanks.
I mean, if you just need to put together an argument, because you put together an argument for Illinois State to beat North Dakota State, and then it happened. So if you lay down an argument right now and you call it 2 weeks in a row, you're now the god of the FCS. That's what you got to do, but you got to hang it out there. You got to try.
I have no argument for this one other than I keep picking against them and they keep winning.
Yeah.
They should not have won either one of those games, and they did so rather convincingly. I mean, that game last week wasn't anything special. I mean, but they won it, and that's what matters at the end of the day. I did see that Tarleton is doing dollar dogs and dollar beers at the game. So now that I am thinking
like
about
Texas,
dollar dogs and dollar beers, I'm thinking their crowd might be massive. Like
Could
they
be.
might have people from God knows where coming just down for dollar dogs and dollar beers. I know when I was in college, if somebody offered that, which they never did,
No.
I would have been all over it.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't matter where I was.
I'm
We're
trying
going for
to
dollar dogs and dollar beers.
I'm trying to figure out how much time there is between the end of the Cat game on Friday night and the beginning of Tarleton State on Saturday morning. See if I can make it there for those dollar dogs and dollar drinks. You know, is there enough time for me to drive from Great Falls, Montana, to wherever Tarleton is? Because nobody knows, because nobody cares, and actually make it there in time for dollar beers. Would I save enough money in dollar beers to pay for the gas money? That's the real question.
I do have to ask. We're going to be so inundated with purple this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
We have Stephen F. Austin. We have Tarleton State. Why does everybody have to be purple? The same shade of purple.
It's a Texas thing. At least Abilene's out now.
Yeah, thank God. I get 3 of them with purple. Imagine if there was like a purple on purple game. Who gets to wear purple? Do they fight over it? Yeah. Do they have like a, one of those, what they draw their pistols and shoot at each other and see who dies to wear purple?
They're going to have a duel, an old-fashioned duel between 2 gentlemen. They come out, take 10 paces, spin around, see what happens. I don't know. It is weird that all of the Texas teams are purple because you even extended out of the FCS. Like TCU is purple. There's a ton of purple colleges in Texas. There's probably some Texas history thing that it has to do with, but I don't really care that much to elaborate on it. But
all jokes aside, Tarleton State is probably going to win this game by like a lot of points. Mm-hmm. I didn't think Villanova was going to be competitive last week. They proved me wrong, which annoys me real bad because they definitely messed my bracket up bad after picking them. They were not supposed to win the first round, but here they are. Mm-hmm. But I have talked a lot of crap about Tarleton State over the last, 6 months, like a lot. To a lot of different people. I see Mac nodding his head there because he was one of them that I talked a lot of crap about, Tarleton State.
Yeah.
But they drop a game against Abilene, and that kind of like made me believe what I was saying was true, even more than I already did. But then they come back and, I'm with you, Ben. I thought UND was going to rock and roll. I was a little nervous with their quarterback being like iffy, but Tarleton plays like in a conference that isn't very good, and North Dakota competes with the best of the best every single week, including a close game with the Grizzlies. So I guess I'm going to have to eat some crow on this one, and I think Tarleton's probably going to get them by a substantial margin. I'd probably say 21 points.
You went from Villanova's going to upset them to Tarleton wins by 21 points in a matter of 7 minutes. That's what's happening today.
All jokes aside.
Okay. We'll set aside the jokes. All right. Whatever. No, I was also a big naysayer of Tarleton, right along there with you. I think everybody in the state of Montana thought that the Missouri Valley was completely unbeatable because every time the Missouri Valley comes into Montana, it's either a 1-point game or one of the Montana teams loses. So we've just got the Missouri Valley built up so much in our heads that we were like, UND, middle of the pack, Missouri Valley team, they're going to crush a team from outside the conference, obviously. That's what we see every time.
Yeah.
Didn't happen. Didn't happen that way.
What's your prediction?
I will just say I kind of told you a while ago I kind of like Tarleton. Oh. I still kind of do. Mm-hmm. I kind of like them to go a long ways now.
Now that they don't have to go through North Dakota State, the frauds.
Yeah, well, even last year in the playoffs, they were competitive with South Dakota. Mm-hmm. And Abilene Christian, they had us in a lot of trouble for a while. In the quarterfinals, whatever round that was. Mm-hmm. Texas schools came up last year, and they put on a very respectable show.
Yeah, definitely. That was a huge shootout. Now that I think about that, between South Dakota and Tarleton, that was a crazy game, and they were going back and forth for like, I want to say there was like at least 5 or 6 scores in the fourth quarter or something like that. That was a wild game. That was a fun one.
All I have to say is, Mac, I don't like the rationality here. Like, stop being so rational and making sense.
Gotta chill out,
please.
man.
We like knee-jerk reactions and craziness. Okay.
We say all the wrong things so that people comment on the videos. That's what our job is just to say all the wrong things.
Okay, I didn't get that memo.
Yeah. That's why you're supposed to be here, Mac. That's why you're here.
Yeah.
Okay.
To say things that make sense.
Ben's just happy that he's not the only one trying to keep me grounded here, because usually it gets a little.
We still let him get on a tangent about Iowa State for 5 minutes. I was like, this is FCS football. This is the Cats pod, and we're going to talk about Iowa State for 5 minutes. Like, it's a tough job. It's a tough job.
What can I say? I like a lot of different things, and I let my sports teams rule my entire life. So, anyway, now that Ben just went on a tangent about me for 5 minutes, we kind of touched on South Dakota, Montana, so you don't need to spend a ton of time there. Ben asked me before the show kind of what I thought about it and about the line specifically, because it's getting to be a couple score line. South Dakota, while they did show a lot last week against a highly touted Mercer team, going on the road and all that, I'm pretty sure Montana is going to put up a lot of points, and I'm not sure South Dakota can hang with that. Now, in the respect for my own personal character, screw the Grizzlies, number one. I never want to root for them to win, number two. But I don't see it. Personally, deep down, I don't see how South Dakota can keep up with their offense right now. It takes a special defense to shut them down.
Oh. That's definitely the way I see it. Like,
I see the wheels turning up there.
I've been respecting the Grizz this entire year. Ever since that Idaho game, like early on in the season, I was like, this offense is going to be a problem for a lot of teams. The only team that can shut down Wortham is Montana State. So Wortham is going to run all over South Dakota, and I wanna believe there's going to be some juice in this game, and I hope that it's a close game, and I hope that South Dakota proves us wrong, because I know there's one person that listens to the podcast that's definitely going to be commenting at us if we both pick the Grizz in this game, and we're both going to pick the Grizz in this game. So it's like one of those things where I don't know why I can't believe in South Dakota, but I still can't quite believe in South Dakota.
No. Mac, what do you think?
That's where I'm at. I can't make myself believe in South Dakota.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
And they might prove us wrong. I don't know, but
it must be how UC Davis feels right now. They're like, what do we need to do to prove that we belong here? South Dakota has to feel that same way. They're like, we just keep beating teams by a lot, and you still won't believe in us. It's great being the underdog, though. Enjoy this time. Because once you become the favorite, that's where all the pressure's at.
I mean, now that we sat here and talked about it, I went and looked at the stats for Mercer, South Dakota. What South Dakota did to them is not only embarrassing, they buried them to the point that could implode a team.
Mm-hmm.
Mercer. What did you see? What Mercer's quarterback statistics were coming into that game? And I know that everything changes once you get into the playoffs. And he was a freshman, and all the narratives are out there. But what they did to him was pretty freaking crazy. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that there is still juice in this game. And I don't think that it'll be a blowout, but I also didn't think that last week would end up being a blowout against South Dakota State either.
Mm-hmm. Ultimately, I don't think that Ayotte is going to have a game like Atkinson did last week. He threw 4 picks in that game, and I don't see, like last year's Ayat, I would be like, totally. He could chuck 4 picks in that game easy. This year's Ayat, he seems like an entirely different dude. He's way more composed. He makes the right decisions. He's not going to throw into those bad situations. And so that's just what makes me think that this Grizz team is destined for Brawl 2.0.
I mean, bring them on, baby.
Yeah.
I'd love to. Let's beat them twice in the same season. That sounds fantastic. And now with the the little bit of puke in my mouth still from the talking about the Grizzlies, I feel like it is time to officially talk about the only thing that any of us, that even Mac right now, wants to talk about, and that's Montana State Bobcats, because that's all he's got left to root for is bracket. That's it.
It's the only team you got, Mac. You're stuck with us.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, you are a Bobcat fan from here on out, and we appreciate this support.
He goes, well,
I don't know. I think I'm a Tarleton fan now, actually.
Oh, no. you already swayed him off of the team. It only took 41 minutes and 10 seconds, and he's officially off our squad.
Well, I mean, not everyone can be as great as a Bobcat, so I totally get you wanting to find like the limping little puppy dog that needs a little bit of help. That's how most people would think. Tarleton's that, kind of, gimpy little dog that needs a few extra kisses. So I get it, but I hope the Tarleton fans.
Oh, I'm gonna clip that for sure. I'm clipping that easy.
But Montana State, Stephen F. Austin. This game has, I don't know, Mac, if you knew, but Stephen F. Austin pulled out of a 2-game series with the Bobcats 2 years ago, which ended up us having to schedule Mercyhurst. And so Mercyhurst is, they're kind of playing everybody who's anybody in the FCS now, like all the big dogs.
Mm-hmm.
But that was how Mercyhurst ended up on the scene, was Stephen F. Austin. They chickened out. Let's be honest here. They didn't want to play the big dogs. They wanted to win games, kind of, I guess. Vidlac is coming back to Montana. I heard his press conference. Mm-hmm. He's not too worried about the weather, which he knows a little bit about Montana weather, but once you're a Grizz, you're always a Grizz. And I want to punch him in the mouth. And I need him to get sacked like 3 times. Kenny Iden, a true Bozeman boy, doing his celebration over the top of Vidlac would make my day. And I'm going to that game. I guarantee you that. We're supposed to get a bunch of snow. Don't care. I'm going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the more I look at this game and the more like this morning, I know Eric and I both listened to SFA's coach in a press conference. If you want prime time entertainment, okay. I'm just saying entertainment.
SFA.
Yeah.
The coach makes one little thing about we want to be SFA, and here's Ben calling them SFA.
That's what they are. I just thought I was saying the team's name. Chill out, okay? God.
They are SF Austin.
SF Austin, okay. We're disrespecting them and calling them SF Austin. Okay. I didn't get the memo. You should have sent me that beforehand. But listen to his podcast. If you want prime entertainment, a prime 20 minutes of entertainment, go listen to this press conference because this coach is very, very funny. And I wanted to go into this game hating them, and I wanted to be like, yeah, they backed out of those games, and I can't stand these guys, and I hate Vidlac, and I don't love Vidlac. Don't have any love for him, that's for sure. But that coach won me over in those 20 minutes, and I was like, God, I want to play against these guys just because this coach is hilarious. He goes on like a 3 or 4 minute rant about powdered eggs within this interview. Yeah. He is through and through Texan, and it is eggs. So funny. Oh, yeah. They're cracking 500 eggs. Yeah.
Yeah. They were so good. It was so much better than powdered eggs. Plus, I think part of the reason it was so funny, and it was a very funny press conference, part of the reason it's so funny is he has that good old boy, Texas accent. Mm-hmm. So everything he says makes you, like kind of happy
You
because
feel all warm and fuzzy inside.
Yeah, those accents are fun.
Yeah.
They're fun. But here's the question, Ben. You and I were looking before Mac jumped on. We were looking through statistics on this game,
Mm-hmm.
and you said, and it's true, the leaders in every spot are almost identical. I mean, on paper, everything is identical.
Yep.
Quarterback pass yards, leading rusher, leading receiver, all the whole nine. Everything is pretty freaking similar.
Even the team defense. The team defense is within like 0.6 points of each other. SFA has not necessarily played against the same competition as Montana State, but they also have a very stout defense that did well against the opponents that they faced. And they can't control who they face outside of backing out against Montana State, but they could have played somebody who would make that defense seem a little bit more stout. But it's everything as you look into SF Austin more, you see a lot of similarities with the Cats because they also lost their first 2 games this year and then haven't been beat since. They also have a very good defense that has carried a lot of what their team is doing. They have a quarterback that nobody expected anything out of that transferred in. They seem like very similar teams in the way that they're made up, and on paper, it's very, very close, which has really changed the way I looked at this game. Because going into this week, I was like, the Cats are going to roll on, and I'm going to be super overconfident like I was when we were playing against Yale. I'm not being overconfident. This is a solid team that deserves to be respected, and they're going to have a hard time coming into Bozeman. I can guarantee that, but they definitely deserve a lot of respect.
I do think, I know, so the first thing on this game is it's graduation weekend in Bozeman. I would imagine this stadium is rocking and rolling. I mean, everybody and their parents literally is going to be in Bozeman.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, the stadium should be nuts. It's a late game.
Mm-hmm.
So after graduation, everybody should be good and liquored up too. I mean, we're talking a good Bozeman drunk going on. You know, all the kids going to be nice and toasted over there in the student section. And number 3, I just don't think that Stephen F. Austin understands the Montana State defense and what they can do to really, really good teams. We saw what UC Davis did last week. You know, we saw what they did to the Grizzlies. I mean, there's still points being scored, but they took a high-powered 60-point offense and dropped them quite a bit down, kept them in check. And the last point, Ben, the last Lumberjack group we faced, what we do to them?
Oh, we embarrassed them pretty badly.
Yeah,
Lumberjacks in general
players.
do not go well, you know. They may be able to chop down trees, but they definitely can't catch a bobcat. That's what the situation is, you know.
Nah. But anyway, Mac, you might as well give somebody a non-biased opinion on this one because, well, I know that deep down you are a Bobcat fan and you're just trying to get a rise out of me with that whole Tarleton State thing. But tell me how bad you're expecting the Cats to beat them.
I don't think it's going to be super. I think they're going to win, but I don't. Anything's possible, but I don't think it's going to be like 3-4 touchdowns.
No.
But I mean, I could see 7-10 point game. I mean, for sure. I think it's. I mean, I think the biggest thing is home field advantage in this one, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I mean, even neutral field, I think you still win. I give Stephen F. Austin some credit. I mean, that secondary, I think they got 2 corners that are really, really, really good, and they've been, I mean, pretty solid all around. It looks like I haven't watched much of their football, but
Mm-hmm.
I still think, like, when I looked at Stephen F's roster, the number one thing that jumped out to me is how many seniors and graduates they have on that team, just on their 2 deep. That is an older, experienced team for sure. Like, pretty much, you know, at least half of the offense and the defense are all seniors or older. Yeah. So, I mean, there is something to say there. I mean, those guys are experienced. They played all over the country lots of times. So, and of course, Bozeman is going to be nice and tropical on Friday night, 42 degrees. Meanwhile, 3.5 hours north, we're going to be below zero with 10 inches of snow.
And like SF Austin may have a good secondary. Okay, it's really hard for me not to say FSA because it just makes more sense to me, but they may have a good secondary.
The FSA gets Ben.
Okay,
that's what the FSA is.
Okay, SF Austin.
So
SF
FA
Austin
is Stephen F. Austin.
Okay. They may have a good secondary, but I know where the best secondary out of Texas is, and they're already in Bozeman right now. They don't have to get on a plane. They're already on the Bobcats. All these guys that are in the secondary for the Cats right now were recruited by SF Austin. They wanted them on their team, and right now, SF Austin has kind of the second string is when it comes to secondary out of Texas. So I'm just thinking the Cats there definitely have an edge.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at like the positional battles and everything, it just watching a few of the Stephen F. Austin games, they have yet to see a pass rush that's very similar to the Cats, where very little blitzing happens. It's 4 guys that create constant pressure, that are constantly rotating in and out and dropping all those guys back into coverage. They haven't seen something quite like that yet. Mm-hmm. At least not seen anything that functions as well as what the Cats have going for them right now. And last week or the last episode, we made a big deal about a couple guys that one specifically had been injured most of the season, and one had kind of his quote unquote breakout game. Those are 2 guys we haven't even talked about when we spend every single episode gushing over 11 other guys, including like the first backups that are in the game sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't think that they understand or are quite ready for what that unit is going to bring to them. I mean, Paul Brott is playing on another planet right now that requires a minimum of 2 offensive linemen regardless of the team that you're playing. So, it's hard for me to believe that, Vidlac and, somebody like that receiver and running back, that's kind of their big 3, are going to have a ton of success against a unit that's as good as the Cats. Because, I mean, not being biased, it is one of the best units in the country, and by quite a bit too, I think. Mm-hmm.
I think that's very fair, and it's not like there's a reason why the Cats have the largest point spread in this round right now. The point spread's sitting at 11.5, and that's because the Cats are heavily favored in this game. I just wanted to bring up those stats because when you look at the team stats and everything, this game becomes much more balanced on paper. And last week we underrated Yale, and I felt like it kind of bit us a little bit. And I don't think the same Cats team is going to show up this week. I think we're going to see a get-right game almost during the playoffs in this game. But it's playoff football, so they have to do it here. That's the only time to do it.
I mean, Bozeman is hard to play in. Just, same as any home stadium anywhere in the country. It's going to be rocking and rolling in Bozeman. Mm-hmm. They find ways to win in Bozeman. I still think, they lost to South Dakota State at home at the beginning of the season. There was a lot of different factors that went into that. I think if we played them the following week a second time, we don't lose that game.
Mm-hmm. It was double overtime, so it's like that's a coin flip game Could have gone either way very quickly.
Yeah, and I just don't think they have the offensive pieces to make the Cats defense sweat. I mean, look at the teams we've already played with insanely talented quarterbacks and receivers. Because, that's what Vidlac's making his name off of, is he's had a very, very successful year throwing the ball. So did Cook at Idaho State, and the Cats made them try to quit playing football for the fourth quarter. I mean, those guys didn't even want to play anymore. So did same with UC Davis. I mean, it essentially just shut them down. And the Grizzlies, it was, maybe to a lesser extent, but Wortham was a non-factor in that game. They were really looking for other things. They forced Ayat to throw 2 interceptions. In my opinion, the Grizzlies are a far superior team to Stephen F. Austin. Yet here we are, looking at the paper and everything, trying to, or looking at it. Oh, they're on the same level to a certain extent, but we beat the Grizzlies in their own field. We shouldn't have any trouble with SFA on our field.
No. It shouldn't be the case. I think the real question is, does Stephen F. Austin have a Drew deck? Because that was the only way that the Grizz found some kind of success, was when we shut down Wortham. Gilman had a great game himself, but you need more than one player to have a great game. Drew Deck had a great game that day, and it made it a close game with the Bobcats. And so the real question is, does Stephen F. Austin have a player to that caliber? I don't see it. I don't see them having a player that can do that can balance out the way the defense shuts down your main contributors.
We're only even talking about this so much because of what Yale did last week. And bringing up Yale, most of those guys are in the portal now. That Nico Brown, that 23, that stud wide receiver they have, he hit the portal today. So he they had, we underrated them. Stephen F. Austin doesn't have the same talent, I don't think. And of course we haven't seen him yet, and we can't make any super judgments or anything, but I don't think they have talent going to FBS teams, probably.
No.
If I had to guess. And I did do my due diligence on this game and went back and watched some SFA games. Yeah, they won and their defense is pretty good, but it is in defense of every other conference in the FCS, they play a lot of pretty lousy teams.
Yeah. They do. They in fact do.
Abilene Christian is the best team that they play in their conference by a substantial margin.
Yep.
Maybe Lamar, but Lamar didn't really look very good in the first round, so can't really take much from them.
Nope. What about UT Rio Grande Valley? Is that a good team? Can you take something from that?
To be honest with you, I don't think so.
What about Sewell Ross State? These are the kind of heavy hitters that SFA played against all year. The Cal Polys of the world. Just big, real hard hitters. Houston Christian, hard hitters.
Mac, do you have any insight on Sewell Ross State?
I can't say that I do.
I don't think
even the Missouri Valley boys don't know who Sewell Ross State is.
Nobody
does.
No,
we don't.
Nobody does.
Well, I think UTRGV had a pretty good year, though, really.
I might be making fun of them for no reason. They could have. Yeah, they were 9-3 in the Southland. They were third in the Southland. It's not even that bad a team. I just never heard of them.
Yeah, when you have 5 letter, your acronym is 5 letters.
Too many letters, man.
It's too much.
Yeah, I can't read that much.
It's intimidating.
Yeah. It really throws me off.
Yeah, I mean, we already don't like having 4 letters like NDSU. That's part of the reason why I don't like them.
It's one too many letters. One too many.
Is too many.
Mm-hmm.
You only need 3.
Only need it.
Two is not enough. 3 is perfect. 4 is too many.
Mm-hmm. Oh no.
5 is a kill.
SFA is 3 letters, Eric.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. Like in the name game, SFA has it going on.
They do. They're pretty good.
But at that being said, Ben, before we wrap up, is it SFAU?
I can't even answer that question for you, honestly. I don't know if it's Stephen F. Austin University. It might be. I have no idea.
So it might be 4. We don't know.
Yeah.
So they might be trying.
Everything on ESPN just says Stephen F. Austin or SFA. They don't give me any of that kind of intel.
How do they know if they're talking about a person or an actual university? Because, Stephen A. Austin,
What?
Stephen F. Austin can be the same thing,
Yeah.
or be confused.
Yeah.
For a mid-level ESPN broadcaster.
Mm-hmm. I don't know
Okay,
my
shut
I don't
me
know
down, Ben.
I don't know
Shut
my
me
I don't
down.
know my Texas history enough to talk about Stephen F. Austin. I should, but I don't. He could have died at the Alamo for all I know. I don't think he did. I'm pretty sure he was the first governor of Texas, but not exactly sure. Not 100%. I was a history major like over a decade ago, so that part of me is lost. Anything else you guys want to say before we let everybody go?
No, you need to kick me off this thing immediately.
Mac, anything you got to say?
Go Tarleton.
Go
Oh,
Tarleton.
jeez.
Go Texans. Go Texans. All
He's
right.
just a salty NDSU fan right there on the show with a couple Cat fans.
All right. Hope everybody has a great weekend. Thanks for listening to this episode. Go ahead and rate us 5 stars wherever you are listening to this at. Make sure you also hit that subscribe or follow button wherever this is. Spotify gave me a notification last week, and it said for the audience that we have, we should have at least 700 followers. And we're sitting at like 185 right now. So if you're listening to this, hit that follow button because it helps us out a lot, okay? So go ahead and try that out. I hate making the follow requests, but just this one time for me, please. Just do it now, right now, okay? Go ahead and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at CatsPod. Follow us on YouTube at The CatsPod. And we will catch you guys next week after another glorious Bobcat victory.
Adios.